Alright guys, welcome to another video, and today we're going to be talking about the EU again. Now, a couple of days ago I saw this new EU legislation is bootloader unlock ban post on Reddit, and I was like, well, EU, you have created this scenario where we hate you now. But then I thought to myself, is this actually true? Because it's really bold to come and ban like a bootloader unlock. I mean, why exactly do you do that? I mean, if you look at the comments, if you look at all of the stuff here in this Reddit thread, at least 10 days ago when I saw it, it was pretty simple. Yeah, it got banned. Everyone was panicking and stuff like that. Like, simple, don't buy EU phones anymore. Alternatively, there will be likely to be a workaround to when this stuff passes and stuff like that. But again, there's also the people who are skeptical of what's going on. So the guys that are like, I mean, back when I watched this post for the first time, this post basically had this comment and a few other comments down here. This one didn't exist. This one didn't also exist, but we'll come to those in a while here, okay? So, and we've got this other post, which is way more insane, and maybe it's because the subreddit is different. I honestly don't know this subreddit, it just got recommended to me by Reddit. Thank you, Reddit, for pushing misinformation my way. Of course, good thing that I can filter it myself, so... Yeah, but like if I don't filter it for some reason, if I don't go through the measures to filter it, maybe I would be misinformed. So just a video to actually make you realize that you can also be misinformed by Reddit. It's not everything you see on the internet is true. You have to prove the citing, so the citations. If there's no citations, even if there are citations, you have to prove those citations to be correct as well. Yeah, this is a video to clarify what's going on, because honestly, it actually made me think twice about everything. So yeah, here we go, the second post. So this one was done a little sooner than that. I found it while I was like searching up the actual documentation for this stuff. And as you can see, it's got this Xiaomi, I don't know, what was it called, this website? Yeah, basically it's just a Xiaomi like update website, basically, and they were talking about how the EU is banning stuff. And the people down here, they don't actually realize what's going on here. So I'm sick of internet censorship and restricting devices I bought. So yeah, I mean, the Online Safety Act for children, which of course disables your ability to be fully anonymous online. You can watch my videos on that. It's there in my channel. I've got the UK and the EU version as well. And as you can see, these people are like really mad about it, and like the trade-off is better security. And yeah, they don't really realize what's going on. Of course, I did make sure to like comment down below, at least for the people who are new, to actually realize that it's wrong. So I did also provide some links. Actually, not links, but I actually phrase it in a way so they can find it easily. But this video is to do with the links and stuff. So if you're watching this video, you'll know everything. So what I did at first, when I didn't, well, like it was kind of unbelievable. So what I did at first, and what you all should do, is just basically search it up online. And here I found a lot of sources, so news outlets, no big outlets by the way, which are, yeah, complaining about like stuff going on, so goodbye, oh crap. I mean, you can already tell that this website is not exactly good when it just does that. But yeah, here we go, we've got the same stuff from August 1, 2025. New provisions will be enforced by the RED directive, which is the Radio Equipment Directive in the EU. And yeah, basically they're going to be disabling bootloader unlocks on Androids. Yeah, and that's basically all there was here. Of course, they were also the EU model of certain phone unlocking guides on the XDA forums. So it already did seem to me like a sketchy thing. So what I did later, I found this website and this website. So we'll go over them because these are I believe the ones that are most insane. You'll see what I mean in a point. So in a second here. So it says Red 3.3. How to get compliant with the EU Equipment Directive? Now hear me out. Look at this one. What is Article 3.3? So the Radio Equipment Directive. Was it radio equipment? Oh yeah, okay. I thought they even got the name wrong. Okay, so anyway, is an EU law that sets rules for selling radio equipment in Europe. It ensures that the equipment is safe, doesn't interfere with other devices, and uses the radio spectrum efficiently. So, common sense, I would believe, in countries where the radio is regulated, which it should be, by the way, because like there's all kinds of stuff you can do with radio attacks. So it sets safety and performance standards for any product that uses radio waves to communicate in the EU. It's Article 3.3 DEF point, which we'll come back to a little later on. Introduce the new cybersecurity requirements, focusing on protecting networks from threats, securing personal data, preventing fraud and misuse. Now, all of this is actually true, but where it actually gets untrue is later on. So this is the 3-year transition period. It just basically says they put the law in and it was being transitioned to for 3 years. And where it gets actually insane is this part doesn't really matter because it just basically says that manufacturers should comply, so Samsung and stuff like that, they should comply. And we'll come back to Samsung in a second here because that's also a vector where the misinformation possibly came from. Okay, so this part in particular, it says prevent fraud. Article 3.3F, built-in anti-fraud safeguards to block cloning, tampering, or fraudulent use, such as secure boot, unique device signatures, strong user device authentication. Now this tripped a lot of people, and this part in particular, because like secure boot and stuff like that, if you unlock a bootloader per se, you basically bypass all of this. So you're not actually using the signatures to go into your native OS of your phone, as far as I understand. Anyway, so if you do this, you're basically, your phone can't be sold. Well, if it's a new phone, can't be sold in the EU. Anyway, so that was not the only source that thought this was happening. So as you can see here, we've got the EU enforces Android bootloader restrictions from August 1, 2025, what it means for users and brands. So you can see it just basically says Samsung, Xiaomi and Google are basically going to lose compliance with the one of the world's largest markets. So basically the same child safety thing, but this time with actual hardware, that other time was actually internet, so software. As you can see, bootloader unlocking restricted due to new cybersecurity rules. Yeah, it's obvious that all of this is copy-paste, and as you can see, the Salesian College, I've never heard of them. It's the first time I'm actually going into their website, so you can already tell. Like, I mean, as you can see, it says power users to install custom ROMs, so it's going to be impossible to do on an EU phone. Developers to test applications under different software environments, also going to be blocked. Businesses to deploy tailored versions of Android for enterprise use. Yeah. Red cybersecurity laws now mandate that only cryptographically signed firmware will be permitted. Now, you know what? We're going to be opening up the law, and we're going to actually read what exactly brought them to this, because as far as I know, there's nothing. For regular consumers, it's going to be custom ROMs going. Of course, they're not, but increased device security against firmware level malware. Okay, and for businesses, restrict their ability to deploy basically the same stuff. There's nothing new here. There's basically repeating itself and basically bloating the article. So, yeah, I don't know. So we can go to see what this EU Commission actually said. So as you can see, an official website of the European Union. How do you know? Well, you can press this as well and basically check it out. I mean, I'll have this link down below so you can also check it out. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Anyway, so as you can see here, we'll go to this website, which is also an EU website, which also talks about this specific article. And if you watch this, like if you press this, it'll bring you to this page, which I already have open, which you also can check. I'll have all of these linked down below. And yeah, let me just scroll down. We have Article 1, 2, and also 3. So as we remember from here, it said Article 3.3F, right? So here we go. This is the actual thing they're going by. So radio equipment supports certain features ensuring protection from fraud. I mean, yeah, of course. If you think of it like with a custom ROM, you will be able to like bypass some restrictions. Like if you have like your own custom ROM, maybe you can use like your Wi-Fi adapter on a phone, because the phone is a radio device, to actually attack something, right? So maybe that's why people actually thought, yeah, this is going to be disabling custom ROMs. But that's too broad, honestly. Like, if it happens, I don't think it will happen. Like, logically speaking, this is something else. This is basically radio equipment has to have some software which blocks the actual implementation of stuff which will be malicious. So if you want to flood a network with a certain like frequency range, or like block every frequency with a homemade device, the homemade device will stop you from doing that. I think that's as simple as it gets. And it also like reference these two. Radio equipment does not harm the network or its functioning, nor misuse network services, thereby causing an unacceptable degradation of service. So yeah, this is the flooding. Let's just say you want to flood like a specific like zone of the network so that some people can't communicate over it, or maybe you want to send data and basically be or listen to data, or I don't know, basically stuff which are malicious, and you do it with radio stuff. Radio equipment incorporates safeguards to ensure that the personal data and privacy of the user and subscriber are protected. So this also does not have anything to do with bootloaders. It's just that simple. I mean, this one, maybe, like, if you, like, stretch it so much, I mean, I can see why they're mistaken, but hey, according to this, and this is a credible source right here, GrapheneOS, and if you haven't heard of GrapheneOS, it's basically this OS, which is, I would stress to say, the most secure of at least the images of Android I know, which you can flash on like Google's devices. And yeah, GrapheneOS is basically coming up here, and it's like, this EU law banning unlocking story was untrue. They're a custom ROM developer. If they don't know what they're talking about, I don't know who is. Anyway, the publication posting it retracted it in a subsequent story without updating the original. So as you can see, we already see the problem here, right? The claims they cited, so the other websites they cited, were AI generated, and they also admitted that, but they didn't change the specific document that they posted a few days ago, at least a few days prior to this all happening. So this is the one that is updated, and we can also go to see this one. This is the one which is the old one, right? So this is the old one. Might be updated now, might not be. But if we go here, it just basically says understanding the pace of regulatory change, which I don't think it really matters, because this one is what really matters. So AI content farms and the risks of misinformation. It's worth noting that the initial wave of this concern originated not from official EU sources or reputable technology outlets, but from a AI generated content site. Now, as you can remember, this site right here is marketing. I don't know if this is the exact one, and it might be because like it's posted way before. Yeah, it's posted way before this even started. So yeah, this one is basically marketing itself, and I've seen a lot more that they're basically marketing themselves to be like this company that will help companies comply with these rules. Yeah, you know what? I do believe you, man. I really do, and that's sarcasm, by the way. So yeah, reach compliance with all EU regulations using our help. Yeah, of course we want to do that. It's just something they generate money off of, which is, yeah, a bad practice, I would say, at least. They just basically fixed their move, but didn't actually fix the move they did prior. And yeah, so key takeaways: no immediate or drastic change for Android users. So are you going to lose your ability to install custom ROMs on Android in the EU if you bought your phone from the EU? No, you're not. But yeah, here we go. That was all the misinformation. Anyway, so let's talk about this part of it as well, which, yeah, even if you went to the GrapheneOS discussions, you would think that there's some controversy going on, right? So this guy, this CDF Flask, basically this person, the EU is banning bootloaders unlocked, right? Hello, expansion of the red directive that comes into effect on August 1, 2025. It seems to that this directive indirectly prohibits the unlocking of bootloaders. Yeah, indirectly, as I said. Very indirectly. Which part exactly? Someone's doubting stuff, and this guy also replied, and they're like, with the stuff. I saw some discussion of, basically there's like discussion, and no one knows it for sure. So it's good that GrapheneOS just came ahead and like said, no, you're not missing out on anything. But yeah, you can see how you might get misinformed, especially when stuff are not covered extensively. Because one website just basically generates content on an AI, everything else basically follows, and you just have like a load of websites. Yeah, if I go for article 3.3, you'll see what I mean. Like everything has copied it basically. I mean, not exactly everything, but as you can see, like you've got the article red. Let's go for red article. So you can see how like everything has covered it, and most of these are not credible sources, or if they are, they didn't fact check it, so they also got misinformed. Which, are they credible at that point? I'm gonna leave you to judge. Anyway, so yeah, that's the video here. I don't know, maybe this helped you, maybe this told you that you should actually research everything you read on the internet. So even if it's as simple as like something like this, like a bootloader being unlocked, like personally I'm not affected by this, but my friends do actually get affected by this if it actually passed and if it was actually true. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to be a vector of misinformation, and I don't want you guys to be a vector of misinformation as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it made you learn something today. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!